Lovelessness equates to oppression. The absence of love can lead to misery, adversity, harm, abuse, and violence. Although love isn't enough to prevent oppression from occurring in our lives, our oppressors understand the power of love because they know love soothes, relieves, heartens, and galvanizes in the face of our struggles. When our adversities are unrelenting, love emerges and provides the will to thrive. I'm Kim.
And I'm Camille, and this is Enneagram for the Culture, where two dope Black therapists discuss how therapy, Blackness, and the Enneagram come together. Hi, friend. Here we are again.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm ready to jump in and ready for this conversation.
Too.
I know you are too. So let's introduce our guests so that we can really jump into the good stuff. Our guest today is Maximillian Matthews, all gender pronouns. He is a Black queer writer based in Durham, North Carolina, and has been working in higher education for over 10 years. Max is a graduate of Elon University and North Carolina State University. Max's work has been featured on Black Youth Project, Blavity, Afropunk, The Body Is Not an Apology, Race Baiter, Rethinking Schools, and Inside Higher Ed. Max authored a book, Another World, in September 2022. A firm believer in abolition, Matthews envisions a world without white supremacy, patriarchy, misogyny, capitalism, imperialism, ableism, and any system that results in oppression. Y'all, I am so excited. I'm just hyped just reading that. Max, welcome.
Oh. Thank you for having me. Thank you. Happy to be here.
I don't know. I'm tears welling up. What is that? Yeah.
Yes. I feel those tears. Yeah.
Yeah. Max is my, tried and true. Like, it's over 30 years of friendship. We go way, 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 way back. And yeah, like Camille has said a few times, to just listen, to all that you are doing and all that you stand for. It's just a very overwhelming moment, but I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy you're here.
I am happy to be here too. I'm equally proud of you, as you know. Yes. And, our paths crossed when we were children in elementary school. We lived in the same neighborhood, and ever since then, we have, like you just said, tried and true. So, I think we can all attest to that. It's something rare to find.
Yeah.
That level of connection and friendship. So
yeah.
Happy to be here.
So you guys lived in the same neighborhood. You went to the same elementary school. When did y'all know that all right, I'm cool with you. You're my people.
I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. I don't know. I just never remember feeling like he was somebody that I didn't want to be around. And I remember feeling that way about a lot of people. Like Max was just always a person that I just knew I wanted to be in my life. And I think it's just been over time. It's just been a friendship that, you can go seasons and not necessarily talk. But still feel connected, still feel supported, still feel like all I have to do is reach out if I need something. And then when you do connect, it's just kind of, it's just right back like it was, when we were like 5. It's really special. So I would say just over time, him just always just being a person that's just always been there.
So were y'all really kicking it in literally kindergarten, riding your bikes together? Are we really talking we are neighborhood friends?
I really kicked off in high school.
Okay.
We already knew each other and were cordial. Like I said, our parents knew each other, but in high school was really when the bond kicked off. I was voted most congenial in high school. I've always had this welcoming energy, and I think Kim gravitated towards that as she talked about. People have just always felt comfortable in coming to me. But with Kim and I, it was on another level because we were talking about things beyond just our academics and the college we wanted to go to. We were talking about some real life stuff. So it just grew from there. But I think that also speaks to my Enneagram type because, and y'all can help me with the number. I believe and stop me if I'm moving ahead too quickly, but
Go ahead.
I think I'm a 2 and a 9.
Uh-huh.
And so my understanding of 2 and 9 is that we have that congeniality
Mm-hmm.
that people are attracted to.
Mm-hmm.
And particularly, I gravitate towards Black women because of how I was raised. My mother raised me on her own after my father passed.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always felt more comfortable around Black women, and because I watched them growing up, I wanted to be a part of their conversations. They were gossiping, they were giving each other the tea on all the things, and I loved it. I would rather do that than watch football or whatever men do. So, so, and me being queer as well, I just felt more comfortable around Black women, and Kim always gave me that energy to where I could be myself. So
That's so cool. And so high school, we really started bonding, and then you didn't go to the same college.
No,
no.
but similar experiences. But no, not the same school. But one thing I do remember, we've always connected over music. Like Max used to be Max used to be Max used to be the music man. If you wanted some music, if you wanted some CDs, you could hit up Max. But even before that, I remember us grooving to Deborah Cox, Sentimental. Like I visually remember you like grooving to that song with me, and we had to be like small. So that's always been a connection of ours. He's wearing an Aaliyah shirt right now. Like I know you saw Janet recently. We were thinking about maybe going to get we've always had that we've connected through.
Have you seen that meme recently, Max? That's like there was just think that there was a last CD that we all burned, and I wonder what CD that was. Like, what was the last burned CD I made?
I literally had a business, like Kim said, like people
I can go in my room next to this and go and get some of this with his handwriting on it right now.
Oh my gosh. Why did you not bring that for this talk? Because I want to see what was on there.
Yes, I was a whole business owner in high school. Yes.
How much do you remember? Tell us the rates. What how did this business work? Did people give you requests, or was it, I'm going to give you the vibe? And how much was this?
I think I charged $5 maybe a CD, and it was all requests. I had LimeWire, on my computer, so I would just download it and burn it. So what can I say?
Did you make a pretty penny?
Yeah, I was able to get some new clothes with the money, and get a few more extra things during lunch. When we went to Wendy's, I splurged a little bit, So
you could get the Frosty.
I could get the Frosty, Yeah.
That is amazing that you had a whole business and people were requesting songs. You put it together for $5.
A lot of people. There were a lot of students that had businesses at our high school. There were a lot of young entrepreneurs. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You know who to go to for candy and whatever.
Yeah, getting your hair done. Childcare.
Nails. Yeah.
I tell people we were a mini HBCU. I mean, we really were. But I think also the business was a way for me to connect with people because I noticed what certain people were listening to. And I noticed you asked for, my life by Mary J. Blige.
Mhm.
Is everything okay? So that was also a way for me to, no shade, because that album I still
Yeah.
have it on repeat. So it was a way for me to also connect with people.
I also feel like you can know the tea. Like if so and so asked for like love songs, you're like, oh, they're in a relationship. Who's they dated? Like,
Exactly. Exactly. So yeah.
oh, that's so good. I love that this friendship has. I am a sucker for friendship, and so just hearing that, I was just like tearing up just at this lifespan of this friendship and how meaningful y'all have been to each other in your lives throughout different seasons. Gosh, love it.
Yes. Very rare to find, as I said. And I have to shout out the work you all are doing, because it was the podcast, particularly season 2, that made me, and Kim, you already know this, that made me reach out, you know, and just check in, and from there, we're picking up where we left off, as she was saying. So, but I appreciate Fred to give you autonomy and independence. And as she said, let you live a little bit. Kim and I definitely have that. So, yeah.
Moving along. I love it.
All right. So how the Enneagram showed up. You go, Camille.
Me?
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to do this one, but before Max hopped on, I was talking out loud to Kim, and we actually have it recorded. And I said, is this how the Enneagram showed up for me? She's like, absolutely. So we have had, this morning, I did something really random. My friends want to learn pickleball. It's really strange. And so we went to go get like lessons. And it was the most hilarious morning. Like I was laughing so hard. It was just hilarious. And I really came straight from there to here. And we had another interview earlier. And I've been loving this season because the episodes and the interviews, I'm just smiling the whole, if you guys could see our faces, we're just smiling at what people are saying, whether we really are out like laughing, but just also just warmed. Yeah. And so after the episode was done, after we did the interview, my cheeks hurt so bad from smiling and laughing for pretty much since 8:00 this morning. And so I go and I get my face roller, the little things that you like roll your face out. And I'm sitting there waiting for Max to hop on, talking to Kim, rolling my face, going, my cheeks hurt. And then I'm wondering, is there a way that we could like exercise our cheeks, like to make our cheeks stronger out loud? I'm going, is there like exercises to like strengthen our cheeks so that we can smile more without hurting ourselves? And then I wonder if I could ask my friend who's a PT for exercises. Max. Because my cheeks hurt a lot in my life from laughing, and I don't want it to dull my shine. And so yeah, I was kind of working them out, I was, rolling them out before our interview with Max. So I was like, I want to be able to smile and laugh with him and not feel like my cheeks hurt. So that's how the Enneagram showed up for me today, is that my face hurts from smiling and laughing. I'm trying to relieve them. And I'm also wondering, is there exercises that we can prevent this from happening another time?
I think that's a good hurt to have.
That's exactly what Kim said. Kim was like, that is a good problem to have, Camille.
That is exactly what I said.
Kindred spirits right there.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
You were just like, I got to think of like how my Enneagram is how it showed up for me. And then that happened. And yeah, the moment you were like, I wonder if there are exercises, you were just, just thinking out loud.
Stream of consciousness.
I wonder if there are exercises that we could do. And I just paused and looked at you and you were like, this is how it's showing up, isn't it? Yes. Of course.
Yes. So if anybody out there knows exercises to strengthen our cheeks so that we're not in pain and so that fellow sevens do not have to go through this, we'd really appreciate it.
What about you? You want to go?
Um, how it's shown up for me, I've been so one thing about me, I'm very introspective, very reflective, always have been. And I've been thinking a lot about how how much I enjoy nurturing others, and how that's a good thing, but it could also cause hurt, right? Because sometimes you can put that above your own needs, above nurturing yourself, and that has been a thing in my personal life, which I write about in the book. And so that's been showing up for me because I've been reflecting on it. I've been journaling about it. Um, and actually connected with a new therapist this week. And so she was asking me some questions about my background, but her questions just made me think more deeply about um, my Enneagram. So that's how it showed up for me this week.
Oh, so this is gonna be it's gonna be so hard to like not. I'm gonna have to try to like not figure it out, but that's not what we're here to do. We're not here to figure it out. Not
We'll
at
talk. We're gonna talk.
all. You did. I think I told you. I thought you gave. I thought you were a 9. Like you feel like a 9 to me.
I am. I think I'm both. Yeah. You can be too, right?
Typically, no. That's not how. No, that's not how it's taught, or that's not how we
Okay.
apply it. But true to nines are very easily able to like see themselves in other positions, and so it still can make sense that you feel like, the helper really resonates with you, or off all of them for that matter. Um, Either way. Oh, go ahead.
And 2s and 9s, that's a common mistype.
Yeah.
Like those two are very similar. So when you said I'm a 2 and 9, I was like, that make like those would be two that like can be interchangeable in some ways. So it makes sense that you like both of those, that you resonate with both of those.
Mhm.
I really do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm proud of you, friend. We're gonna get to therapy more a little bit later.
Okay.
Um, I guess I'll go because we got a lot to talk about. But I'm just so glad Max is here. Okay. So we have been talking about Queer Eye a lot. Camille, how long had you been into it, like, since okay.
Season 1,
Yeah.
episode 1, I was in from the jump.
I'm late. I just got
So
here.
throughout this season, Max, to catch you up, throughout the season of this podcast, Kim started watching Queer Eye. So a lot of her, how it's been showing up for her has been her journey through Queer Eye.
Okay.
Have you watched the show?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So, it's like I can't get enough. I really don't want to watch anything else. So, like, I've been trying to pay attention recently to, like, what is it aside from it just being like an amazing show, beautiful show. I've already mentioned that it definitely helps me to like get in touch with my heart. Like, I get emotional pretty much
Mhm.
every episode. But what is it about the show that, like, why do I like it? And as I thought about that, like, it has my Enneagram all over it. So, one, we've already mentioned quotes. Like, I love quotes too. So the fact that they incorporate quotes in the show, the fact that it's about improvement,
Mm-hmm.
getting better. I love a good level up or a good bounce back, right? Um, and I think the Fab Five's capacity to see the best and the potential in people, um, and to be able to help others see that in themselves, and how they can see people for who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And what I love about that part in particular is, like, each of them, to a degree, they share their own experiences where that was not the case for them, right? So their ability to see people for who they are comes from, like, some hurt, some wounds where they weren't seen. And so it just enhances their empathy and their compassion. I just think that that's just so, I think threes, like when healthy, that can be a lot of that whole hope and wanting things to be, the best, to be better. I think that's where a lot of that can come from.
Mhm. I see myself in that as well, um, because when someone shares their struggles with me, I always try to empathize or relate or let them know that they're not alone. I dealt
Mm.
with something similar, not to take away from their own struggle, but just to let them know that in a way I've been there too. And that matters, especially when you feel isolated and alone, when you feel seen.
Mhm.
They do so well on that show.
Yeah.
It gets you emotional. And So that's something I've tried to offer through the work that I do with
Mhm.
my students, with my family, friends, etc. I mean, that's pretty much who I am at my core.
Yeah. Yes. Well, who you are at your core, I want to know. And like you're saying, I'm between a 2 and a 9. Yeah, those two you resonate with those two. But what has been your like how did you learn about the Enneagram? What's been sort of your story with the Enneagram, your journey, your origin story is what we like to call it around here, with the Enneagram. We'd love to hear it.
Honestly, I didn't know about it to the podcast. I had no idea what it was, and so I did my research, and I think I told Kim this. I was blown away just how accurate it was.
Mhm.
When I really read about each type, I was just blown away, stunned, uh, and it helped me to connect the dots with things that I've been through in my life. So, uh, but as far as the origin, um, my father, he uh, he was a lawyer. He worked as a financial aid counselor at a local HBCU, um, and so he was a lot of the work that he did was service oriented.
Mm.
He was active in the community. He mentored young men, very active in the church. And so I did everything with my father. He took me everywhere with him. And so I really soaked all of that up in terms of how service oriented he is, how helping others was a thing for him. And I believe that that was passed on to me in a way because, like I just talked about, that's who I am. And so, yeah, when I think about the um,
You got to write Enneagram.
Enneagram,
Mhm.
um, yeah, that's why I think I oscillate between 2 and 9 because I put others, I put others first, sometimes to my own detriment. Um, but it's been a consistent theme throughout my life, and one of the things that I write about in the book. Um, and I also think that another origin of mine is that to deal with the struggles I was dealing with in childhood, I retreated into my mind.
Mm.
I imagined constantly. I envisioned another world, which is what the book is called, and that's really how I got through. One of the reasons I got through the things I struggled with in childhood because it got really dark for me. So
Mhm.
that's kind of my origin.
Thanks for sharing, Max.
Mhm.
I think that's been a part of the joy that Camille was describing when was talking about our cheeks that we're being blessed to experience, like with sharing space with folks this season and hearing people's experiences. It's just how people are just showing up and being so vulnerable and authentic. Um, and so we just do not take it for granted at all. Not at all.
Mm. I think it's so yeah, it sounds like you love this too. Kim and I as therapists, but then you as someone that loves people and is that people's stories are so like I wanted to curse, like so fucking interesting. Like
Yeah.
it's just fast. Like you hear people like when you really sit down with somebody and hear their origin, hear their story, hear their background. Like, it's just like, wow, that is so cool. Like, it just is. And so I think this season and just even spending so far a couple of minutes with you, it's just like, I'm so intrigued by your story. And I've loved what I've already heard. And I just getting to hear people's stories matters, and it means something. And we can see the other person, but then we also see ourselves. So yeah, thank you for already sharing part of your story. Because I was fascinated by it.
Yeah. I think that's one of the reasons why I wrote the book, because I needed to read a story like mine in those years. And so that was really a big inspiration for writing it.
Yeah.
Hi, Camille here. I hope you all have been enjoying season 3 as much as Kim and I enjoyed recording it. New this season that I wanted to share is that I will now be offering one-on-one Enneagram consultations. What that means is that if you have any specific and unique questions or curiosities related to the Enneagram, how it shows up for you, how you use it at work, in relationships, how you can use it for growth, or if you need some focused help on even learning your type, then we can meet for 90 minutes to answer those questions. I love doing these as I get to deep dive into your questions and provide you with custom and tailored answers that we get to discuss together. If you're interested, you can reach out to me via social media or in the show notes. You can find my email. I'm excited to get to meet some of you in this personal format and get to be a part of your Enneagram journey. Now, back to the show.
Camille, I know you appreciate a good deviation, so I think I'd like to deviate in 2 ways. I know I said I'm going to also be a timekeeper, so I'm going to make sure this not turn into a 4-hour conversation. I promise. But I want to, if I can, I know I said I wasn't going to try to figure out which one you are, but I do want to just drop 3 questions to help you. And maybe if somebody listening feels like they're stuck, that you can consider to help you to land on which one.
Yes.
You
ready for the questions? Does this work for you? Because
I hope so. Let me take a swig of my Red Bull.
You got to get those wings.
Okay. So first of all, and so this is from a book. It's by Ginger Lapid Bogda, who she's a pretty popular teacher as far as the Enneagram. I got this resource from Milton, who has been a guest so far on our podcast. So this book is specifically to help with typing. So initially she describes like why people can get hung up on 2 versus 9. The confusion between the 2 types is one of the most common. And there are many reasons for this. Even though 2s are a heart center type and 9s are a body center type, 9s can be very heartfelt, people-oriented, and relational, much like 2s. In addition, both 2s and 9s are part of the optimistic triad, along with Enneagram 7. So both 2s and 9s smile quite a lot and are adept at interactions that cause others to feel good. So here are the questions. So the first one, if you were to be completely honest, do you think you can get almost anyone you want to like you, or do you not think much about getting others to like you? If you were to be completely honest, do you think you can get almost anyone you want to like you, or do you not think much about getting others to like you?
I think I can get anyone to like me, but I think as I've gotten older, I don't feel as anxious as I used to about making everyone like me. So yes, in high school, as I talked about earlier, I went out of my way to speak to everybody. Hey, are you good? What's going on? Checking in, all that. But now I don't do that as much. So,
but you think that I could get everybody to like me.
I think so. Yeah.
Wait, let me read these answers to you. So listen for this. 2s, if they're willing to be honest with you, will admit they really can get almost anyone to like them. It's important to understand that 2s may not want everyone to like them, so they may not exhibit this talent all the time, but the skill is there.
Okay.
This question is best asked privately.
Damn shit. Sorry.
Because twos may not want to admit this in a public forum. So
Sorry.
go ahead. I mean, for you to be able to keep it real. Nines usually just draw a blank on this question and they don't know how to answer it.
Okay.
And that's because they don't think about it very much. Okay. Second question. Would you please describe what friends means to you, the role they play in your life, and how you would describe them? Please describe what friends means to you, the role they play in your life, and how you would describe them.
Friends, I would describe as family, as community, as sustenance, love, integral to me being alive, literally. So, friend is a word that I don't take lightly. So it's something that I take very seriously.
Okay.
What does it say?
I won't even read it. It's just, you definitely answered it like a 2. Almost always have a lot to say about friends, even multiple paragraphs is the first sentence. Nines don't usually have much to say about friends, and rarely do they have circles of friends with labels for their circles. So,
okay.
Question.
I'm excited. This is good. I like this book. This is I'm here
for this. Great resource. Yeah, I'll link. We'll make sure we link it. Last question. Are you good at knowing and meeting others' needs, and how do you know what others need? Are you good at knowing and meeting others' needs, and how do you know what others need?
Yes, I'm good at meeting others' needs. But I think I know that has been something that has caused me pain as well, because I put those needs above mine, or I'll get too involved in meeting those needs, and not give space for my own, or reflect on them as much as I could.
Oh, sounds like you might be a 2, bud.
You're a 2.
But why did you think I was a 9?
I think so. Describe your book, and then I'll answer that question.
Can I answer what I was when I was just meeting you? I was like, oh, this is a 9. So I can answer what I thought. Because when you said, I can get anybody to like me. I moved the way you moved in high school. Kim wanted to be around your energy. Nines are just it's a nice energy to be around. So I was like, oh, he's a 9. And then, I love that. That was so good. Like we all just got we all went on a journey together.
Yes. Another World is a collection of essays about systems of oppression, mental health, how I have navigated the intersections of my identity. It's about my queerness, my Blackness, my personal life. I'm very vulnerable and open about what I've experienced in my dating life. But in the book, you see me grappling with this theme of getting to the root of what I was going through. And in my view, in my opinion, if as a society we got to the root of the things like crime, things like just the terrible things that happen in the world every day, right? If we got to the root of them, rather than be so quick to punish or be so quick to write someone off, be so quick to cancel, right? That would be much more impactful than just avoiding the issue or just putting someone in a prison, right? So, and you see me, my childhood is also a theme of the book. And so I write it, I'm writing it to young people. I'm writing it to LGBTQ plus youth. I'm writing it to young professionals. I'm writing it to other people who are doing this work around social justice, activism, etc. I'm just really I'm just offering my perspective on the state of the world and uh, how I navigated how I've been navigating the state of the world. Um, yeah, for all my life, if that makes sense.
It does.
Makes so much sense.
So in your book, um, you talk a lot about love.
Mm.
Um, but I think this is the last chapter.
Yes.
And you did give me permission to read just a little bit. Okay.
Read whatever you want.
Lovelessness equates to oppression. The absence of love can lead to misery, adversity, harm, abuse, and violence. Although love isn't enough to prevent oppression from occurring in our lives, our oppressors understand the power of love because they know love soothes, relieves, heartens, and galvanizes in the face of our struggles. When our adversities are unrelenting, love emerges and provides the will to thrive. Marginalized communities have had no choice but to seek, explore, and know love as profoundly as we do because we needed its power and sustenance far more.
Mm.
Um,
Mm.
I feel like you've always embodied that. And then this is from Chi Chi's book, and it's describing the virtue for nines, which is holy love. Holy love says that we belong at the tables as our full selves with our complicated thoughts and feelings, with our anger and our tenderness, our gifts and our challenges. We belong at the table because we are loved, and we are loved simply because we exist. There's nothing we can do to change our standing. There is no way we can earn our belonging at the table, and therefore no way we can unearn it. This knowing frees us up to be fully present, to experience the love that is always and has always been there for us. It gives us the courage to take our rightful seats at the table of belonging and experience the breadth and depth of connection that is only possible when we aren't hiding ourselves in the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Also embodied that to me. So to answer your question about why I thought you was a nine, it's the way you love, and the way you always just represented that to me. But it absolutely works for a two as well.
Oh my gosh. Because twos are our lovers and our givers and our
Yeah.
helpers. Beautiful. How beautiful.
Yeah. So that chapter, the last chapter, was written to my friends. And I wanted to write something that conveyed the depth of my love for you all. I wanted you all to have something to read, in your difficult times, because in my difficult times, as I wrote about, I thought of you all, and it really literally helped me to keep going because when you're down bad, you're down bad, um, and love was the thing that inspired me to pull myself up out of that. And so that's what I was trying to convey through that chapter, and also describe it for those who may feel that they don't have it.
Yeah.
Because kind of like you just said, it's already inside of you. But you have to dig really deep to get there sometimes, and I get it. So hopefully I convey that in the book.
You did. You know you did. You know you did. You know you did. You know you did. And if you ever for a second question if you did, please remember this moment. You know you did.
Thank you.
Okay. So that was the deviation. Thanks.
Loved it. I was here for it.
All right, Max, can you talk to us about how your type, be it 2 or 9, 2 sounds like, how it
It's a two.
intersects. Yes. How it intersects with your Blackness.
So, growing up, I always felt like I was on the outside looking in. And I think sometimes that's something we struggle with as um, not all of us, but I think some of us struggle with that, feeling like we don't have access, feeling like we don't belong.
Yep.
Right? And so I see that intersecting with being a two, because being loving, being congenial was my way of me trying to access that belonging.
Mhm.
Uh, and I feel like with my blackness, there were times when I thought that I had to be less authentic in order to get that belonging, in order to get that access. Uh, I had to suppress parts
Mhm.
of my identity. I had to be more respectable. I had to I had to code switch. I had to be mindful of who was in the room. I had to be mindful of how I dressed. I had to all those things, which is incredibly taxing to deal with every day. And so,
Mhm.
but so yeah, I feel that I relied on me being able to get people to like me. I use that as a way to try to get that access that I long for, always long for, still long for it, even after, despite the circle of friends that I have, there is still this void and emptiness in me that still longs for that. But I think that my blackness is definitely a part of that. Because
Mhm.
who's to say if I were white, I wouldn't feel that way at all, probably.
Right.
Um, and I feel I can't talk about my blackness without my queerness because they're so
Right.
intertwined, right? And so everyone's experience of blackness is different, right? And so yeah, so my blackness, yes, that is absolutely something that I have struggled with and continue to struggle with. So yeah. I didn't mean to get all deep and
Oh,
You don't have to apologize for that. This is just the effects of us just taking it in. Just kind of letting your words sort of marinate and land, and they are landing so beautifully for me and my system. Um
yeah. So much of what you're saying resonates.
mhm.
So, it's kind of like it's a it's a reverberation, it's kind of like a processing over here. Um,
But I
so
also think that's why, not to cut you off, I think
yeah.
that's why, again, I have felt so connected to Black women, and they have been connected to me because, uh, in a way, we see each other, and that's something that I treasure deeply. Um, so so yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um, us heart types we have image issues, and
Yes.
that's exactly what can happen. We can tell ourselves these lies that we have to show up in a certain way in order to belong or to be accepted or to be deserving of love. And that's such an important place to get when you recognize that that is bullshit. And even though it may continue to come up sometimes, you still know that it's bullshit. And you can be you, just authentically you. And you're so deserving. And you are, I know for a fact, you, speaking to you, Maximilian Matthews, you are incredibly, deeply loved.
Yeah,
Mm.
Deeply loved.
yeah, I know. And that's something that you see a lot, I think, in the queer community. Um, and I talk about this in the book, like in terms of dating, for example. You compare yourself, like you
Yeah.
said, the image issues.
Yeah.
Oh my God, in this community we compare ourselves so much to uh, every little thing. So, oh yeah, he has the body, or he has um, just, physical things, physical attributes, right? And we think getting those things will get us more love and more access, right? And when I lived when I lived in DC, which I write about in the book, I deal with that heavy because I'm seeing all these men up there with, I mean, perfect. I'm putting that in quotations, right? But it it also had a negative effect on me because I'm comparing, and I want what they have, and it makes me start to look down on myself, which I was already doing, in childhood, right? So it just compounded, and it put me in these very, excuse me, vulnerable scenarios with with men who could take advantage of that, and it can it can really cause your mental health to get to a really dark place.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, but the more that I embrace my authenticity, um, the more and more I started to free myself from that kind of thinking. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
because your image is definitely a thing, definitely a thing. So yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about, I know you in your bio, you said that you were featured on The Body Is Not an Apology. I'm actually reading that right now. And I've kind of been familiar with her work before anyway, Sonia Renee Taylor. And even as you're talking about that, I know she talks about the like kind of the hierarchy of with that white supremacy and the patriarchy has sort of placed on bodies, and how and like where you fall on that hierarchy, like you want to stay there or get higher on it or push others down. Like that's what white supremacy sort of says. So when you were talking about that, about the comparison and how that intersects with like being queer and Black and being on that hierarchy, like how that then becomes this comparison game. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. In the second chapter in the book, I really get into the meat of how that showed up for me, and how I had to confront my own. So the article I wrote for The Body Is Not an Apology, it's called "How I Confronted My Internalized Anti-Blackness," I believe. And so I I had to sit with that I had absolutely had my own internalized oppression that I needed to get to the root of and unpack. Because I mean, it got to the point where I was being very superficial and very hard on myself, and on the men that wanted to date me also. I would reject them because they weren't where they were in that hierarchy wasn't good enough for me, or not for me, but it wasn't in alignment with the access that I thought I needed.
That's right. The access part. Mm-hmm.
Right. And so yeah.
Yeah. Cause I love how she talks about that like that hierarchy gives us access to things. And so if we think we're at the top of that, then we think we have all the access. And if we're at the bottom, we want to try and get more access by either being a certain body type or loving somebody a certain way, or just all of those things that show up. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah. Like one of the first questions that tends to get asked, well, when I lived up there, is what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
The first question they ask, they don't ask about your character, or anything. It's about your income level. And so now there are issues of class that we can loop into this hierarchy, right? And in some spaces it's colorism. And so, it's the complexion of your skin. And so it's so complex. And that's why I talk a lot about desirability politics.
Gosh, yeah.
In the book as well. So yeah.
I need to read this book. I really need to read this book.
That is your homework assignment.
That is my homework assignment that I am going to gladly jump into.
Yes.
I wanted to go back. So you when we don't see ourselves, I've learned this lesson that it can set us up. Like there are people who prey on those who don't see themselves. And so I think it was my cousin actually who helped me to kind of see that, to give myself more grace with some of what I've been through and how not seeing myself has attracted stuff that's not for me. But it helped to really be a lot easier on myself. That there are people who actually like, because they know that you don't see yourself. They know that you don't know and see how dope you are, how much you're loved, or how much, regardless of all of the superficial things, how much you belong and are deserving of all of the things that your heart desires. Like they know they can see that if you don't see that, then that they can take advantage of that.
Mm-hmm.
And we can't sleep on the fact that there's people out there who do that, who are like that.
Yes. There's a chapter in the book called Youth. And I write to queer youth directly, trans youth, gender nonconforming. And I speak about that vulnerability, how important it is to be seen. And I hope that I provide that through the writing, because I didn't have that growing up, and I just wish I would have. And so, but that also puts, you just spoke about it very well. It puts LGBTQ plus youth in very vulnerable situations, where they can be exploited and things of that nature. I tell the story in the book of, I'm going to mispronounce his last name, but Orlando. The last name starts with a B. He was 17 years old and he was on the dating apps. And he met up with somebody. And he ultimately was murdered. And, I bring that up to say, I feel so many of us are seeking that belonging, right? And we can seek it we can seek it from other people in our community, and they might not have those same pure intentions. They just might want to exploit you and harm you, right? Abuse you. It's very much a thing. So I think it just speaks to the importance of books like mine and advocacy and all the efforts that people across the world are doing, because it's hard out. There's been a lot of progress in terms of our community, but it's still nowhere where it needs to be.
Mm-hmm. That's right. I want to ask this next question of, with that being said, like, what's a hope that you have for people, queer people? What's a hope that you have around the growth work that they're doing, whether it be with the Enneagram or something else, another sort of personality growth system or personal development? What's a hope you have individually for folks on the individual level, but then also for the culture?
Getting to the root. That's my hope, because that's been one of the things that has liberated me. So just being afraid to go to those dark places, and if that means going to therapy, if that means just doing something to where you can tap into that, do that. That is my hope, because I think when we get to our core, that's when you get to the core, that's underneath all the internalized oppressions.
Mm-hmm.
It's all of those things that get in the way of who we really are at our core. So I would just say that's my hope, that we just get to our core and just let people be their authentic selves, whatever that looks like.
Are you comfortable talking a little bit more about just sharing your relationship with therapy? Because we love normalizing that conversation here. And I'm going to pair these questions together. So what's been your relationship with therapy, and any, like, a gem maybe that you have from therapy that you could share?
I think when I first went to therapy, it was tell me what to do, I'll go do it. And that's all I need. And my therapist was very much like, no, girl, we are going to get to the heart of what's going on with you. And I think that was a gem for me, because the answers were inside of me. Not necessarily my therapist was going to guide me there, but they weren't. She was going to be a partner in that journey, but I had to do the actual work.
Can you please say that just a little bit louder for the people who are in the back of the room and they got their AirPods in? Just a little bit louder.
Yeah. So yeah, I went into therapy wanting the answers to be given to me, not wanting to do my own work. I thought, I pay this money to you. You tell me what to do for my mental health, whatever, and I'm good, but that is not the case. It's literally a journey. And I think the relationship with your therapist is more profound, is more fruitful when the client comes into it doing that work, or being open to that work, being open to that feedback.
Yeah.
Constructive feedback. And I was very intentional about wanting a Black woman as my therapist. And so sometimes you have to find, and I'm sure you all have talked about this, what the best kind of therapy for you. Sometimes you have to go through trial and error, but
definitely
that's how it's been for me.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. And for saying it louder. The fit is important. Thank you for normalizing trial and error, right? Sometimes it can suck, but it's worth it to give it a shot. And if it's not a good fit, honor that it's not a good fit. We're professionals. You don't have to like us. It can be that it's not a good fit, and we want to get you on to someone that is. And yeah, the answers are within you. I love that. They're within you. And a therapeutic space is just about, like you said beautifully, partnering with a clinician who's just going to walk with you and help you uncover what those answers are. But yeah, that can be, a tense experience. You think you're going to come in and somebody's going to tell you the answers, and they're like, no, actually, you got them. I'm just here to help you figure it out. But the quicker you can shift and kind of lean into that, like you said, the more fruitful the journey.
Cosign. And kind of to bring it back to what we talked about at the top with, like, the different stories, because why, as a therapist, we say, I'm partnering with you. I say, I walk alongside you. It's because your story is unique. Your wisdom is unique. Like, my story and my wisdom is not the same as your story and your wisdom. And so it's going to be more fruitful if I walk alongside and let you tap into your beautiful story and wisdom. Because if I just tell you what I would do, it might not be with the right fit, because that's not your story.
Yeah.
That's not your experience. That's not your identity. That's not how you think. That's not how you move through the world. And so it has to come from the client. And I just hearing you say that makes me just so excited about my job of getting to walk alongside people, and walk with them as they figure it out. And I get to help guide them, like you said, and help them tap into that. So yes, that's a great gem. Shout out to your therapist. Just doing the work.
Well,
Max, I don't want it to end.
I knew that look when I saw it.
You have been so calming for my nervous system. Like, I feel like just even your voice tone, and I don't know if that's genuinely natural, or if you've worked on that. It's just,
that's always been there. He's always had that very
Gentle, like,
soothing,
yeah.
open, warm. Like a hug, which makes sense now that we know you a two.
Yeah. Just, yeah.
I've
Down
always
here.
said that twos are just like, it's like a hug.
Thank you. Thank you.
And here's the thing. And what's unique about you that I'm so excited to get into your book. Gentle, yet you're talking about big shit. Like you're dismantling big shit. Like it's not just like, let's all hug and sing kumbaya. Like you're not saying that. Like the stuff that you talked about today is like, ooh, lovelessness is oppression. Right? Like that's like something that's like you're saying something. But in such a beautiful, soothing way.
I received that. Yeah. I don't want it to end either. You all have cultivated a very safe space here, and I feel it just through this Zoom call. So
yeah, there's a the church I go to. One of our guiding principles, and this is what I think for you is we disarm with beauty, and I like you disarm with gentleness and kindness and beauty. Like that's a gift. And so thank you for sharing that with us and for our listeners. Like I have felt disarmed about, again, some big, your bio is a world without white supremacy, patriarchy, misogyny, capitalism, imperialism, ableism. Like you're like, these aren't small things.
No, they're not.
And you beautifully disarm it in a way that is approachable and soft and kind. Thank you. Thank you for the work that you're doing and the advocacy that you're doing for our community in this world.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you all for the work you're doing, equally important and needed. And I hope you all know you are making an impact. So please keep it up.
Where can people find you? How can they connect with you? How can they learn more? How can they bask in your wisdom and your gentleness? How can they find you?
Yes, Another World is available on all major retailers.
I need to order it right now. Let me get my Amazon up.
Yes. And I am on Instagram at Maximillian Jamal, which I'm sure they will add to the
show notes.
So you can find me there.
Well, yes. Beyond proud. The proud doesn't even start to describe. And who would have thunk? I think that that gives me just think back to little versions of us, right? Who would have thought?
Right.
Fast forward, here we'd be doing showing up in the world in the way that we are. So I love you so much. I love you so much, and thank you so much for your time and your work. Know that we got you here. I got you, and we got you here. So we're going to be rooting for you loudly, and you are welcome back anytime.
Until then, I love you too.
All right, y'all. Well, that's it for this Love Fest. We'll see you guys in the next episode.
See you on the next episode.